In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Miami Heat versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The Miami Heat are heading to Cleveland to face the Cavaliers on Wednesday, March 5th. This matchup comes as both teams are in different spots, with the Heat dealing with injuries and the Cavs looking to keep their strong season rolling. The Heat will still be without James Jack Jr., and Davion Mitchell is listed as questionable for the game. On the other side, the Cavaliers are expected to have a full roster, including Evan Mobley, who is set to return after being tested last night. This gives Cleveland a significant boost as they aim to maintain their momentum. Cleveland's offense has been one of the best in the league this season, and they've shown they can score from anywhere on the floor, including from beyond the arc. Miami, meanwhile, has had their struggles with shooting consistency this year. The Heat are 26-33-1 against the spread, while the Cavaliers boast the best record in the NBA at 39-20-1. That's a big difference, and it highlights how reliable Cleveland has been this season. Miami does have the rest advantage heading into this game, but they've had trouble keeping up with the league's top teams, especially with so many players sidelined due to injuries. The Cavs, despite being on the second night of a back-to-back, have been dominant this year with 51 wins and 40 covers. Their cover percentage of 66.6% is the best in the NBA, and there's no reason to doubt them now. Cleveland already beat Miami by 20 points on the road just over a month ago, and that was with the Heat having Jovic, Ware, and JJJ available, none of whom will be playing tonight. The Heat have strung together a couple of wins against struggling teams like the Hawks and Wizards, which has given them a bit of momentum. Still, I don't see that carrying over against a Cavaliers team that's been rolling through opponents lately. Cleveland's form has been too strong, and they've shown they can handle business even on short rest. Even with the back-to-back factor, this feels like a good spot for the Cavaliers. They've been the most reliable team in the league when it comes to covering spreads, and I'm sticking with them here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both Cleveland and Miami have been strong over teams this season. The Cavs are 40-20 in hitting the over, which is the best over record in the NBA, and they've gone 9-3 on the over even when playing without rest. Miami isn't far behind at 33-27 in hitting the over this year. Cleveland's pace of 102.5 ranks 5th in the league, and they'll likely push the tempo to create more scoring opportunities, especially from three-point range. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Washington Wizards. On Wednesday, March 5th, the NBA will witness a clash between the two teams currently sitting at the bottom of their respective conferences. The Utah Jazz, holding a 15-46 record, are in last place in the Western Conference and have lost 4 of their last 5 games. Meanwhile, the Washington Wizards, with an 11-49 record, have the dubious distinction of owning the worst record in the entire league. The Wizards have also struggled recently, losing 8 of their last 10 games. Both teams are dealing with significant injury issues. The Jazz are without key players like Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton, and John Collins. On the other side, the Wizards are missing Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Poole, and Keyshawn George. It's a matchup between 2 of the NBA's weakest squads, and the absences only highlight how depleted both rosters are. Despite their struggles, the Wizards have shown a bit of life recently, with 45.4% of their season's wins coming in their last 11 games. While they're not exactly a team to bet on for success, this stretch has been their best month of the season. On the other hand, the Jazz seem to be embracing their situation, sidelining nearly every player who could contribute. Their injury report is staggering, and at this point, point, it feels like just about anyone could get playing time for Utah. Seeing the Wizards as favorites might make you do a double take, but given the state of the Jazz's roster, it's not entirely unreasonable. Utah is essentially fielding a lineup that barely resembles an NBA team. As our first pick for this matchup, the Washington Wizards to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to scoring, the Jazz have been involved in high-scoring games all season. The over has hit in 37 of their 66 games, including 19 of their 29 road games. In their last 10 games, the over has gone 8-2. The Wizards haven't been much different at home, with the over hitting in 17 of their 30 games in Washington. This game features two teams that struggle mightily on defense. The Wizards are the worst defensive team in the league, consistently giving up points, while the Jazz allow the third most points in the NBA. With both teams unable to stop anyone, expect plenty of easy baskets and a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Charlotte Hornets. The NBA is set to deliver an intriguing cross-conference matchup this Wednesday, featuring the Minnesota Timberwolves squaring off against the Charlotte Hornets. While the Timberwolves are fighting to solidify their playoff positioning, the Hornets are mired in a tough season, struggling to find any consistent form. Minnesota continues to deal with the absence of Rudy Gobert, who remains sidelined, leaving them shorthanded in the front court. On the other hand, Charlotte is expected to have a full roster, with Jusuf Nurkic listed as probable to play. Despite their injury woes, the Timberwolves showed resilience in their recent victory, looking sharp and confident. They'll likely feel optimistic about their chances against a Hornets team that has been ice cold, unable to secure a win in what feels like forever. The Timberwolves are playing the second leg of a back-to-back, which can be tricky, but their inconsistency this season hasn't been tied to rest. In this case, it shouldn't matter much. The Hornets are in a brutal stretch, having lost 9 of their last 10 games, and those losses haven't just been close, they've been historically bad. Charlotte has been on the wrong end of multiple double-digit defeats, including several losses by 30 or more points. It's been a rough ride for the Hornets, and there's no sign of it getting easier. Minnesota's performance on 0 days of rest has been a mixed bag this season, with a 6-5 record both straight up and against the spread. So, there's no clear advantage or disadvantage there. What really stands out in this matchup is the clash between Minnesota's elite defense and Charlotte's struggling offense. The Hornets rank 29th in offensive efficiency, scoring just 103.5 points per 100 possessions, while the Timberwolves boast the 7th best defensive efficiency, allowing only 108.3 points per 100 possessions. With Julius Randle back in the lineup, Minnesota's offense should get a boost, helping them build and maintain a comfortable lead. It's been an ugly stretch for the Hornets, who have failed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 10 games. Even oddsmakers are struggling to set lines wide enough to account for their struggles. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are gradually getting healthier, and this game presents an ideal opportunity to reintegrate players and build momentum. Given the circumstances, this matchup shouldn't be close. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. One detail worth highlighting is that the Hornets are currently riding a 7-game losing streak. During this skid, they failed to score more than 101 points in any of those games. Facing a top 10 defense like Minnesota's, it's hard to imagine this trend reversing. To underscore just how poor Charlotte's offense has been, they rank dead last in field goal percentage and 29th in three-point shooting. It's been a rough season for them on that end of the floor. On the flip side, the Timberwolves aren't exactly an offensive juggernaut, averaging 112 points per game, which ranks 20th in the league. Their struggles stem from a 20th ranked field goal percentage and a slower pace of play, as they rank 23rd in tempo with 100.1 possessions per game. Charlotte isn't much faster, sitting at 20th in pace, so this game could turn into a slow, grinded-out affair with limited scoring. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Portland Trail Blazers versus Boston Celtics. The Portland Trail Blazers, holding a 28-34 record, are heading to the Northeast for a cross-country showdown against the Boston Celtics, who stand at 43-18. This marks the first meeting between the two teams this season. Portland is riding high after a decisive 119-102 victory in Philadelphia, where they easily covered the 1.5-point spread as favorites. The Trail Blazers will be without Robert Williams once again, and Jerami Grant is listed as questionable questionable for the game. On the Celtics side, Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday have been ruled out, while Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both questionable, leaving their status up in the air. Despite being underdogs, the Trail Blazers have been quietly playing some of their best basketball of the season, making them an intriguing option in this matchup, especially with such a large spread. While the Celtics have been dominant at home and have bulldozed through most opponents, their current injury woes could give Portland a chance to capitalize and keep things competitive. The Celtics have struggled against the spread this season, posting a 26-34-1 record, and they've been particularly shaky as double-digit favorites, going just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games in that role. Since January 10th, they've outright lost 3 times when favored by double digits. Their injury situation isn't helping matters, and the Trail Blazers have suddenly become a team to watch, winning 15 of their last 21 games and improving to 36-25-1 against the spread on the season. Given the Celtics' recent struggles to cover inflated spreads, I'm inclined to fade them in these situations. Once again, they're facing a line that feels too high, and history suggests they might not cover it. As our first pick for this matchup, the Portland Trail Blazers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Under head coach Chauncey Billups, the Trail Blazers are surpassing expectations this season, staying competitive in a stacked Western Conference. Despite being in 12th place with a 28-34 record, they're a young team in the midst of a rebuild, and they've shown they can hang with some of the NBA's best. While I don't expect them to pull off an upset against the Celtics or even keep it close in the fourth quarter, Boston's style of play, relying heavily on three-point shooting and ranking 3rd in offensive rating, should allow Portland to score enough points to push the total over. The over has hit in 8 of the last 10 matchups between these teams, and this game feels like it could follow suit. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.